Hey guys, it's Rachel Archelaus here. I'm super excited and I want to welcome you to this free class presented by the Intuitive Art Academy and myself, the founder of the Intuitive Art Academy. Welcome. I'm really glad that you came. You know, intuitive art is so special and you're going to learn why today. We're also going to have some fun. We're going to do some drawing. So there's a few things that you'll need for the class today. One of them is you will need some drawing paper. This can be printer paper, copy paper, an art pad, whatever it is that you have is fine. You'll also need some crayons or some pastels. All right, yours are probably not as dirty as mine, but you'll need just the basic colors, like the colors of the rainbow plus brown, white, gray, and black. That's it. So if you have to go steal your kids' Crayola pack, that's okay too. And there's one last thing that you're going to need, which is the color sheet. So if you're watching this on Crowdcast, then the color sheet is right above me in the description. You might have to refresh the page, but you'll see that there's that funny looking link there that ends in colorsheet.pdf. And you'll want to just click on that or grab that. You don't have to print it out, but you'll be able to follow along with the colors as I go through that later. And if you absolutely can't find the link anywhere, that's okay too. You'll just want to write it down. I have a weird bubble in my throat. You'll just want to write down what we're doing later in the meditation. It's not a big deal. But if you have access, click on that link, grab that color sheet, and you'll be totally set to go. So I'm so excited. There are so many new people here. Hello, welcome. I'm really glad that you could make it, even if you're watching the replay. There is a great feature on Crowdcast where you can put in comments on the right. As we go along, you can say hi. And underneath this box, you can ask questions. And at the end, I'll answer your questions. And then we'll be able to link that to the time that I answered them. So you can just go back and listen to the answer. Sounds kind of complicated, but it's really cool. So if you have a question for me that you want me to answer during the class, put it under the video box. You'll already see two there from Jane and Hale. And they're awesome questions too. So please do that. And as we go along, you can say hello. You can chat it up with your buddies on the right. And that will just be like the rolling chit chat for the class. All right. So I want to tell you what intuitive art is before we get started. So if you're new to this or you're new to the Intuitive Art Academy way of teaching it, then there's some distinctions. So you may have some imaginings about what intuitive art is or what intuitive drawing is. And I just want to let you know what my version of it is, because there are several different ones. What I do with intuitive art is I channel my higher self, or that access I have to my own divine wisdom. Some people call it God. You can call it your guardian angel or your spirit guide. It doesn't really matter what you call it. You're accessing the information that's beyond your mind. It's the part of you that's connected to the whole, or source, or divinity. And so we're going there to get our answers to the questions that we're asking in our drawing. So we're connecting to this place that has all of these amazing answers, all of this wisdom. It's not connected to space or time. So it doesn't matter if you're asking a question about the future or the past. It knows what's best for you. You can see everything. It's like the part of you that's sitting on top of the mountain all the time, right? And it's important to know that we're all connected in that way. Because when you want to accomplish something, or you want to know what's blocking you from something, you want to go to the source with the most information. You don't want to go to the source that's the blocked source, right? Einstein says that we can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created it. He also uses the word consciousness. So we can't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. And so when we're overwhelmed, or when we have decisions to make, or when we want to know about what's going on inside of us or what's in our future, going to our mind and asking ourselves mentally, like, what should I do here? How is this going to turn out? How can I get through this? What decision do I make? That's really what runs our day. And we don't get very far with that. We don't really get very far asking our mind for this information. But if we can go outside of the mind, go to that mountaintop place, go to the place that's connected to all that is and our most inner selves, then we can really get some perspective on what's going on. We can get the right answers. We can know this psychic information and take that from being a weird thing to being just a normal everyday occurrence. And this is really where you start to see magic happen in your life, because you're not relying on the part of you that's stuck for the answers. You're relying on the part of you that's totally free and totally connected for the answers. And that makes a huge difference. So we've all had those feelings of intuition, and we've all really felt in our lives what happens when we follow it and what happens when we don't. So kind of take a minute right now and just ask yourself, when I didn't follow my intuition and I really felt I should have, but I didn't, how did that turn out? It's normally not so good, right? I hear stories all the time of people, marrying the person when they really feel like they shouldn't have walked down the aisle. They knew it that day. They knew it leading up to it. They did it anyway. It didn't turn out very well. There's no judgment on that. I feel like we all really do things for our highest good all the time. There's really no bad decision. But there are ways to align to a certain outcome that we really want faster. So, in my business, I've had to make a lot of decisions on who to invest with and what systems to use. And I want to tell you a really, really funny story right now. So I was looking at a new way to host my videos. I make a ton of videos, right? And I often will have them sequenced in a way that is on a particular topic. So I'll do a series on overwhelm, or I'll do a series on enhancing your intuition. And I wanted an easy way to deliver those to people so that they could opt in for that one series. And I found this new program called ClickFunnels. And it looked awesome. It got really high regards from these top-level people in my field who thought it was super easy. I went through the demo. It was amazing. I was like frothing at the mouth to give them my $100 a month. And I asked my intuition at the end, is this the best move for me to make right now? And I got a no. And I was mad. I wanted to do it. I thought it was the answer to all my problems. However, later on, I found out that the only payment processors they work with don't work with my kind of business. So I wouldn't have been able to take any payment if anyone wanted to buy any of my courses. So that was a huge validation that even though I really wanted to sign up with them, even though my mind was totally on board, it made so much sense, it was logical, if I had signed up with them, I would have lost so much money because nobody would have been able to pay me or buy my stuff. So that's just one case of things going right when you listen to your intuition, even when it doesn't make sense to your mind. So I'm sure you have lots of your own stories. If you want to share them, you can put them in the little chat on the side. Or if you're watching this in the replay and the chat's underneath, post about it. I'd love to hear what your intuition has been telling you and what happened when you followed it and what happened when you didn't follow it. So that's just an example of the kind of information that you're going to be able to get on purpose during this class. So with intuitive drawing, we're going to be able to ask questions of our intuition, of our higher self, get those answers in more detail, because we're going to have a whole map telling us why that we're getting that answer. And so it's more than just that yes or no feeling in your body. It's an actual description of what's going on. It's more detail. It's elaborate. And so it's more for your mind to kind of bite into, which is great. Because often when we get those intuitions, we're like, why? What does that mean? Why are you telling me yes, or why are you telling me no? Because it's just that little feeling we have. But with intuitive drawing, I'm just going to grab some to show you. we're going to get much more information. So you won't be able to know what this is right now because it's mine, but you're going to do your own today. So you'll get these like squiggly looking, funny looking drawings, probably ones you wouldn't hang up on the refrigerator, but they tell a story. And I'm going to show you how to do the drawing, how to know what your colors mean so that you can read the story, and then how to apply this in your life, and also how to go further. You know, I do a lot of work in this area for many different topics, like I was talking about overwhelm and enhancing your intuition, but I also teach and certify people in this method, and they have their own practices. They're helping people, they're doing readings for people, they are coaching them, they're helping them through burnout. I've got therapists working with their clients, and these people are certified intuitive artists, and they're really making a difference in the world by helping people connect with their higher selves and really get the answers that they've been looking for, and the answers that will really move them forward in life in that really authentic way. So I hope this is making sense about what intuitive art is and what it can do for you. And it looks a little weird, right? So I kind of want to tell you how this all got started, because it's actually kind of a cute story. So I was 11 years old, 22 years ago, and I was just a kid. I always loved creating. I was very, always drawing something or writing something. I think I wrote like, cute little songs when I was little. But I was sitting up against my bed, painting the top of a cardboard box to give to my mom for her birthday. So I had my paints out. I was just doing an abstract drawing, or an abstract painting actually. And it was, here, I'll draw it for you. It looked like a black X, and there were different shades of like corally orange. I don't have the exact colors here because it was paint, but it looked kind of like this. And so this was in paint. It was on top of this little cardboard box, and I was just looking at it, just kind of like staring into it a little bit. And I realized that it was saying something. And what it was saying was that my mom was compartmentalizing her problems. And I couldn't tell you how I knew that, but I just knew that's what it meant. We've had these feelings of knowing, like we just know something, kind of like in a dream. You just know things like, oh, that's my friend Sarah, or that's my friend John, even if you've never seen those people before in your life, right? It was that same feeling of it just landed in my body, and that's what I knew. And I was intrigued by this, and I wasn't really sure what it meant, but I went up to my mom. I ruined the surprise. I totally showed her present before her birthday. And I asked her, Mom, do you compartmentalize your problems? And she looked at me kind of funny, like, where did I come up with that? And she said, yes. And we then began to talk a little bit about what that meant and what she was going through. And she didn't tell me the full story at the time, but it turns out that she was actually dealing with a lot. She was having issues with my father. She was dealing with some trauma that had resurfaced in her own life that she was refusing to look at for a few decades. She wanted to keep a brave face for me and my sister. She didn't want us to know everything was kind of unraveling in her mind. And so there were these things going on that she was blocking off. And that's exactly what was going on in her, And you can even tell intuitively, even though you don't know the process yet, that that's what this looks like. It looks like somebody sectioning things off, right? Making them into like little compartments, not able to touch each other, keeping them very separate. And so it was at that time that I really kind of thought to myself, well, this is awesome. If I was really able to get into the mind of my mom and help her talk about this and bring it out of those compartments, maybe this can be helpful for me. And so I didn't stop. I actually just kept drawing and experimenting and seeing if I could ask questions on purpose, seeing if I could connect with my spirit guide. And all of it was really just happening. For the next 10 years, I made drawings for me and my family and my friends, and they were all incredibly accurate. And then around the age of 2022, I asked myself this question of, okay, this is great that I can do it, but can I teach this? You know, can other people learn this? Is this a skill that everybody has? And so I made my mom the guinea pig again, and I devised this system of helping her get the meaning to her colors, and I taught her the whole method. And what do you know? The first drawing that she made absolute sense. And, you know, we obviously kept testing and testing, and it just works. And to date, I've taught hundreds of people in person, thousands of people online, all over the world. And no one has ever not been able to do this on the first try. It's an innate part of you that you're able to do this. And especially with the system that I teach it to you, that's kind of what makes it so easy. So whether you've heard the term intuitive art or intuitive drawing before, this is my method, and I don't know where it came from. It just came through me one day, and I'm really happy to show it to you, because it will make a really big difference in your life, knowing that you can get impartial, right for you answers any time of the day in a really easy, fun way. So yeah, you know, I think we should get started. What do you think? Feel free to ask questions. I will answer them at the end. And feel free to say hello in the chat as well. I see, wow, a lot of you are here live. I'm so excited about that. Okay. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do the color meditation. So now is the time to grab that color sheet. Like I said, you may have to refresh the page that you're watching this on to see the link, or it may be linked below this video depending on where you are. So just grab that, or not. If you're not going to grab it, then do grab a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. So really the basis of this method is that you're going to learn what these colors mean to you, to your subconscious, because this is the way that the language is going to come through from your higher self. You are going to be doodling down these colors with your eyes closed, and that is how you're going to be able to read the message. So this is an important part, but don't be scared. I make it really easy. And so all you need is like a piece of paper and a pen, or the printout of that color sheet and a pen. So when you're ready, just take a deep breath. Get settled in your chair. Move your shoulders around, move your neck around. Doesn't matter if you look silly. You can move your ankles, your jaw, that often gets really tight during the day. And just let out a big sigh. You really want to relax here. If you're one of those people that just never seems to be able to relax, then tell yourself, hey body, hey mind, I love you. I love you. You're great. Thank you. Just thank it. It often relieves some of the pressure. And start taking breaths deep down into your belly. And notice how your abdomen expands and contracts when you exhale. Take another deep breath. And as you release it, feel the tension leaving your body. Feel that release in your muscles. Feel yourself becoming more comfortable. And allow your chair to really support you. When we start the meditation, you're going to be asked how you feel being a certain color. And there's no wrong answer. Let out a big sigh for that. There's no wrong answer. Another deep breath. You're becoming more and more comfortable, more and more relaxed. And whatever words or emotions come up for you during the meditation, it's okay. You can feel contradictory things. You can feel positive things or negative things, and all of it's okay. So take a deep breath and release it. And on your next breath in, you're going to inhale the color red. The color red is entering your body. It's getting soaked up by all of your cells. It's swirling around the inside of you and turning you inside and out into a red being. Red is filling you up, making you feel and think certain things. What is it like to feel like a red person? What emotions does a red person have? As you know yourself to be a red person, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? If you were to look in a mirror, all you would see is red. Red hair, red face, red clothing. What is that like for you? And when you feel something or words or ideas come to mind about what it's like to be a red person, write those words down on your sheet next to the color red. Take a breath, another breath of red. And when you're done, you can exhale the red back into the room and inhale the color pink. As pink fills up your body, changes the color of your skin, goes into your heart, your lungs, your organs. It alters the way you feel. What kinds of feelings are you having as a pink person? Who are you as a pink person? You breathe in another breath of pink, and it adds another layer, another depth to who you are as a pink person. How does that feel? What emotions are you feeling being pink? Write that down when they come to mind. And when you're done being pink, you can exhale it back into the room and inhale the color orange. Orange is coming in and filling you up. Turning your skin orange, turning your hair orange, turning your insides orange. And you can even feel the shift from pink into orange. It's a different feeling. As you breathe in, you're feeling orange more and more. You're having orange thoughts. You're feeling orange emotions. What is it like to be orange? Who are you as an orange person? As you breathe in orange, you're feeling a deeper experience of what it's like to be an orange person. So write down what emotions you're feeling being orange. And when you're done with orange, you can release it back into the room and inhale the color yellow. Yellow is turning you yellow inside and out, from your toes to the top of your head. You're thinking yellow, you're feeling yellow. You could not be more yellow if you tried. What is it like to be a yellow person? Who are you as a yellow person? Take another deep breath of yellow. Feeling yellow. and write down how you feel as a yellow person. And when you're done with yellow, you can release it back into the room and inhale the color green. Green is changing your perceptions. Green feels different from yellow. As you fully become a green person, notice how the change happens. What does green feel like? As you keep breathing in that green color and you become more and more green, how are you feeling? What thoughts and emotions do you have as a green person? Take one more breath of green. Notice how it's changing your experience. And when you're done feeling green, you can release that back into the room. And inhale the color blue. Blue is entering your body, allowing you to feel and think like a blue person. Who are you as a blue person? You look in the mirror, all you see is blue. Blue eyebrows, blue hair, blue face, blue hands. What is it like to be a blue person? What thoughts and feelings do you have as a blue person? And when you're good, when you're done being blue, you can exhale that color back into the room and inhale the color purple. Purple is now swirling around your lungs, being absorbed by every single cell of your body. Making its way down to your toes, changing you. And now you feel and think like a purple person. Who are you as a purple person? What thoughts and feelings come up for you being purple? What is it like to be purple? When you're done being purple, you can release that color back into the room and inhale the color black. Black's now swirling around inside of you, changing the way you think and feel. What is it like to experience yourself as black? From the tips of your toes to the top of your head, to your heart, your stomach, all of you is black. How does that feel? And when you've had enough of black, you can exhale it back into the room and inhale the color white. This color is now replacing the black in your body. See if you can feel the transition. How is it different? And what does it feel like to be completely white? You're thinking differently now, being white. What thoughts and emotions are coming up for you? Take another big, deep breath of white. And when you're done experiencing yourself as a white being, you can release that back into the room and inhale the color gray. Gray is filling you up. It's changing your feelings and changing the way you think. Changing your appearance. What is it like being gray? Who are you as a gray being? How would you describe this in terms of your thoughts and your feelings? Write that down. When you're done with your gray, you can release it back into the room. You can inhale the color brown. As brown makes its way into replacing all that gray, you feel the shift in your body. You feel the shift into being a brown being. How does it feel to be brown? What thoughts and feelings come up for you being brown? As you breathe another deep breath of brown, you deepen your experience of being this color. What's coming up for you? Write that down. And when you've had enough of brown, you can release it back into the room. Shake off all those colors and come back to me. So release the rainbow. Become yourself again. And what you can actually do is turn over your color sheet just for a moment. And just know that whatever you wrote down is right for you. It's okay if some are cliche, like yellow felt like sunshine, or brown felt like the earth. That's all okay. It's okay if you have contradictory things in the same one. It's okay. And now we're going to really learn the process of getting your questions answered from your higher self through this method. So in order for us to connect with our higher self, we need a question. So anything that you would go and ask a psychic about, or do an oracle card reading for, or even ask yourself about, like thinking about making a decision, you can ask your higher self. But the more specific the question is, the better. It's just like going to Google. If you type in a really broad search, you're going to get millions of answers. If you type in a very specific search, you're going to get the answer that you're looking for. So it's much easier to decode a drawing that is specific rather than really open. So for example, asking yourself, who am I? So higher self, let me draw, who am I? Okay, that's going to show you who you are, but you remember you have to read it based on those color meanings that you wrote down. And so it won't show you, it's not like a printout of 17 pages of who am I. It's going to feel a little broad. It's not going to feel satisfying as an answer. But if you ask a question about a specific part of you or a specific part of your life, that's much better. So who am I as a mother? Who am I as a daughter? Who am I as an employee? Who am I as a business owner? What am I like with money? What is my relationship to money? Those are very specific things that you can ask your higher self and get a very satisfying, helpful answer from. So I hope that makes sense. You want a specific question. You don't want a broad question because it's going to impact how well you feel the answer suits you. So that's the first step of this method. It's asking your question. The second step is the drawing part. I'm going to demo that for you right now so that you can see how simple, how fast it is, so you don't have to be worried. This part is done with your eyes closed, and you're making your hand the brain. You're not having any part of this. Your mind's not going to tell your hand what to do. You don't have to see an image in your mind. You're not going to hear anything. Nothing's going on up here. You could be thinking about lunch next Tuesday. This is doing all the drawing. So this is how it looks. You ask your question. You can do it in your mind, and you're doing it in this higher self. Please let me draw who I am in regard to money, who I am as a mother, whatever you pick as your question. And then you're going to close your eyes. You're immediately going to feel the impulse to start. So you're going to grab one of your crayons. And you're going to just let your hand move however it wants to move. You're going to feel the impulse to change color. So put the original one down, pick up a new one. Your hand's going to do all that work for you. And then you're eventually going to feel stop. So you're going to feel start, change color, and stop. All with your eyes closed. All with no thinking, no thoughts, no images, no words. You don't even have to hold the question in your mind. Your hand's going to do everything for you. Total liberation. Okay? And you're going to end up with something that looks kind of like that. It could have X's on it. It could be more shaded. It could be see how my drawings are very different? There's that, which is kind of like layered. This is more geometric. It's like a little box with some confetti in the middle. This one actually kind of looks like a sun, right? This one, different, also has an infinity symbol in it. So you're never going to know what your drawing is going to look like until you open your eyes. All of them look different, all right? So depending on what you're using as a supply, like mine are chalk, so mine can go on this side or on this side. But sometimes you'll have a lighter touch, sometimes you'll have a really hard touch. Whatever your hand does is the right thing to do, so you don't have to worry about that. Your hand's gonna do all the work. And it will be very quick. So I just showed you how quick that was. It was maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and that's it. Sometimes you will have a drawing that's slower, more deliberate, but you always just want to let your hand do whatever it wants to do. Listen for start, change color, and stop. That's it. Super simple. The last step is the decoding. And that's where we're going to use your color sheet to figure out what your drawing says. So I didn't really do a drawing here because I was just demoing this for you. But if I had, I would say, oh, look, that's my inspired action color. That's my expression color. This is my thinking color. And I would put those together to know what they mean. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do right now. So first step first, look at your color sheet and take out one color for each of those on your sheet. It doesn't matter what shade. So you could use dark orange, light orange, neon green, anything you want. So just pick one of each, and I'll give you a moment to do that. This is fun, isn't it? I'm so excited. I did not forget about your questions either. We're going to do one drawing together, and then I will answer your questions and tell you about how you can get a free reading, which is super fun. Something has to be fun, right? If I've been doing it for 22 years and I'm only 33, there's gotta be something to it. I don't really stick around for things that aren't super special. Cool, yeah. So Zach is saying that he's got colored pencils, so that's perfect too. Whatever you have is fine. I like these pastels because they blend really well, and they end up making for a really great, you know, it's a nice picture. It's also easy because no matter where you pick it up, there's no paper, there's no wood, so you can use it however it kind of falls in your hand. But whatever. If you get more into this, sorry, I was reading a comment. If you get more into this, you can pick the supplies that work best for you. All right, so you have one crayon, marker, pencil, pastel for each of those on your color sheet. Now we're going to get to some drawing. So grab a fresh piece of paper. You can turn your color sheet back over. You don't need that right now. Why don't we do something super fun and ask about our relationship to money, right? Who doesn't want more money? We could always use the knowledge of how we are in relationship with money. So let's do that as our first drawing. So all you do is just take a second, take a breath, center yourself in the present moment, and just ask in your head, okay, higher self, let me draw what my relationship to money is. And then you're going to start, change color, and stop, all with the power of your hand. And then let me know when you're done. So let me know when you're done. I don't want to rush you. Remember, your hand is your brain. That's all you need to know. Cool. So I see one of you is done. Another. Awesome. If you're not done, just keep going until you feel the urge to stop. If you are done, here's what you're going to do. So just take a look. This is what mine looks like. If you are having trouble technically, just refresh the page. That often works with Hangouts. So this is what mine looks like. I'll tell you why it's so funny when we do the decoding. But for now, just look at your drawing. And I want you to take out your color sheet and a pen or a pencil or one of your crayons. And I want you to write down what you had on your sheet for each color that's showing up on the paper. And if you have a ton of words for one color, then see if when you look at your color sheet, some word stands out more to you. So what word draws your attention first? What word kind of looks bolder or more sparkly? Then just write down that word. All right, but if all of them look equally as good, write them all down. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to look at your drawing and your color sheet and go, okay, orange is in my drawing. What I have on my color sheet for orange is blah, blah, blah. Write down what that is right next to it. I'll do the same, and then I'll show you how to decode this in a bigger way. So for example, my orange is a very mental color for me. It kind of means thinking. So I'm going to write thinking down next to where my orange is. And see how it's in here too? So my orange is here. My orange is also here. I'm going to write it again. I'm going to write thinking down in the middle so that it's near the color. Cool. So spend some time doing that. So write down what your color meanings are next to where the colors show up, okay? And when you're done with that, let me know. So if you're having any trouble, it's okay. And again, if you have a lot of colors for one color meaning, like if after red you've got 6 things, just see if any 1 or 2 words really jumps out at you, and that's what you can put on your paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you mine. I'm going to show you how the decoding process works. So if you're still working on yours, that's okay. Just put it aside and go through your drawing with me for what you've got written down, and then you can finish it after class. So, what is my relationship to money? Now, I wrote those keywords up here so that I'd remember what this drawing is about. So you can write relationship to money on the top of yours as well, and then the date, because if you don't write it down, it's going to be super hard to remember what the drawing was about if you go back to it at a later date. Okay, so what is my relationship to money? This is what my hand drew for me, and it's pretty awesome. So again, I had my eyes closed, so I didn't know what colors were being put down on the paper. No idea. My higher self did all the picking for me. And what showed up was this box here. It's kind of like a frame. It's purple, and that is my spirituality color. So I see money through a spiritual box, through a spiritual frame. I think that money is completely energetic, that we attract and repel whatever vibe we're having on it. So it's totally on par with my beliefs about money. It's that we basically create our own money story in our life. Spot on so far. Then it kind of looks like this is like a flower, right? This kind of looks like a stem and leaves, and then there's this weird flower in the middle. The container here for this top part is actually my wealth color. So it couldn't be more synchronistic if I tried. So this bubblegum pink is my wealth color. And what's inside of the wealth color is this orange. So there's orange down here, there's orange up top. And it's thinking. So it's mental color, it's strategy, it's about all that stuff. So there's some part of me that believes that thinking is involved in having money, that, you know, creating structures for money to come to me is part of my money story and part of my relationship. And that would be so accurate because I have my own business. I've had to create structures for money to flow to me, like offering classes and coaching and, you know, stuff like that. So my money comes to me through structures and thinking that I've put in place. And this other color here, which I actually didn't even see until a couple seconds ago, is my expression color. And expression is very tied to how I feel about money, because I feel like the more I express my true self, the more money I allow into my world. So I've just found that to be true. When I've looked back on, you know, revenues month to month, when I'm more artistic, when I'm more expressive, I actually make more money. So it's kind of cool that when I build expression into my structures, I make more, I allow for more wealth. So this makes total sense to me. Yours may not make sense. It may make sense right away, but you really just have to look at it and see, what are the keywords there? Are they true for you? You may not have ever thought about this before, about what your relationship to money is, and so may not resonate deeply, but it's showing you from your higher perspective what your relationship is to money. So mine, it looks like it's a very spiritual construct for me, but it's based on how my wealth is based on my thinking about it, my thoughts about it, what I create to bring it to me, those structures and that strategy. So that's really interesting. And, you know, this drawing could spark more drawings. So I could do more on this of like, What structures are best that will bring me the most money? Or what is the proper thinking to have around money? There's much more you can go. It's kind of like digging a hole. You can dig it as deep as you want to using intuitive art and really mining your higher self for those answers that will really make a difference in your life. So I hope that makes sense to you. Why don't you look at your drawing right now and ask yourself, what is the story of this? How are these things interacting together, right? Like if your fear and grounded color and joy color come up, where are they on the page and what are they trying to say to you? What does, do you have fear? Do you need to be more grounded? Are you being too logical? What is showing up for you? Don't overthink it. Just let the page speak to you. If you're trying to figure it out, it's not going to work. You have to remain open. So feel open. Feel like this is so easy. It's a piece of cake. Just observe the drawing. Imagine that you're reading it for someone else. What is this saying to you? And use the words that you wrote down, because that'll make it much, much easier. So I'll give you a few seconds to do that. So if you have any comments about your drawing, feel free to put them on the side or underneath. I'd love to hear about that. I'll love to take your questions too. If you have any questions about what's going on, then do let me know. We have 2 already that I'm going to answer in just a bit, and I'd love to answer yours as well. So we're getting information from the place that has the right answers for us. It can see through our limiting beliefs. It can see through our blind spots, through our blocks, and it's really giving us that deep, deep down information that you can only get through that deep, really transformational work. So if you were going to spring forward from this and you saw that there was a problem in your drawing, like your relationship to money includes a blockage or includes fear, then you could do another drawing about how to release the fear or how to release the block. There's so much potential here that there is a whole certification program on it, right? There's a 5-month program all about becoming a master of this and also how to work with other people in this way. If you want more information about that, I'm actually reopening enrollment at the end of this month. Feel free to check out what's going on with that. I'll give you more information later on about that. But this is really how I evolve, how I live my life, how hundreds of other people do too, because it really drills down into who we are as people, what we want, and how to achieve that. There are a couple more steps that you can also do if you want to take it to the next level and make it a part of your daily life. Like I teach this thing called the soul focus method, and it's this, what you've just learned, plus 2 more steps. It's actually how to get your daily to-dos from intuitive drawing and your higher self so that each day you're making steady progress toward your goal. It's really cool. So, like for example, this is one that shows me a lot about my business and what to do about my business. And so it's telling me to finish my website. It's telling me to have my marketing all be really joyful expressions. So like if you're a business owner, you know there's so many things you have to decide every day. Like, should I be solemn? Should I be the tough love person? Should I be the super excited person? Right? This is telling me what's super authentic for me right now. And it's even telling me to do this class. So do a live class is actually right here, and that is why I'm here with you. So this has put us together. So sometimes though, what will move us forward towards our goals is not going to be related to something logical. Sometimes we're going to have to shift into a new vibration to allow abundance and joy in. So sometimes I get to dance. Sometimes I get go hiking. And those are all signs from my higher self of you need to do this because you need to shift your vibration in order to allow anything new in. So we are often the ones just blocking what we think we want from entering our lives. And so that's why I created that other method, the soul focus method. It gives us this plus 2 more steps of finding those to-dos from our higher self and following through so that they're done. It's really fun too. Like I normally go through a drawing once a week or every few days. So I get my drawing and my to-dos, I mark them all off, and then I get to do another one. And it's super fun. If you want to learn more about that, you can click on the link above this video where it says to learn about the soul focus method. And everybody who signs up for that class gets a free reading from me. So I have some examples here. I do a reading for you about your soul gifts and your purpose and really how that's wanting to be expressed in your life right now. So like this is one for Julie. It was telling her really about what she's bringing to earth right now, what her mission is, how she is putting that out in the world. This is one about really separating parts of your life and like really getting into service and really grounding all of this healing that she's going to be spreading out into the world with her new nonprofit. This is about a really, really talented healer. All this blue here is my healing color, and this was telling her to listen to spirit and that she's grounding all this healing work. So I could go on, but I just want to give you a little taste of what that class is, how to really use intuitive art to anchor your potential into your life. I get asked a lot of times, like, okay, I want to live my purpose, but I don't know how. I don't know how to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make it real. I know I have these gifts inside of me, but I'm overwhelmed. I have no idea where to go. And the soul focus method of doing intuitive art, getting your to-dos from your drawing directly from your higher self, that is how to make it real. Because you get these actionable things, you actually do them, you mark them off, and that's getting you that much closer to living your potential and having the life that you've always dreamed about. So it's super special. I really love it. And it is really working for people. So if you're interested in that, again, go to the link right above the page, or if you're watching on another site, on YouTube, whatever, just go to intuitiveartacademy.com/focus. So intuitiveartacademy.com/focus. Check that out. And I'm so excited to do a reading for you. So this, your drawing, is telling you a lot of information. So it is good to make it real somehow. You don't want to just use it as information. You want to ask yourself, what can I do about this? Is there something here that I needed to work on or release or clear? Or can I just be really excited about this right now? Like, I've already got this thing going on in my head of, wow, how can I celebrate this? How can I do more drawings about this? And so it's a very interactive modality where you and your higher self get to have this real loving communication about who you are, what you're here to do. And so it's very, very in-depth. And I really hope that you'll, sorry about that. I really hope that you'll keep up with this. And as you do, as you practice, it'll get easier and easier. So I know right now it's like, it was your first time, you're probably feeling like, I don't really know if this is working for me, but do another drawing. Really ask a specific question, and you will definitely see that it's working for you. So I'm going to answer some questions right now. All right. So are there questions that just can't be answered this way? I know that's pretty broad, so maybe just categories. I really love that question, Hale. Thank you for asking it, because there is nothing that you cannot ask with intuitive art. So again, the future, the past, the present, about yourself. You can do this for other people. It's really generous in that way. So again, anything you'd go to a psychic for, anything you'd do an oracle reading for, anything you'd ask a psychologist about, your higher self is the greater part of you. So it knows you in depth. It knows the world around you because it can see everything. It's not limited by time and space. You can do past life drawings. You can do future life drawings. You can do anything that you could think of. And I've really tried, I think, almost everything. So I can say that with sincerity. If there's something I haven't tried, it's just because I haven't thought of it yet. But you can even talk to your star family this way. So it's very, very, very broad. Okay. So Marina says, loving this. Do you use this to ask any kind of specific question? Also, action-based questions like, should I do X, Y, Z right now? Yes, so I'm glad you're loving it. That's awesome. Thank you for being here. Do you use this to ask any kind of specific question? Yes, I definitely do. I start with the question. So the method is ask the question of your higher self, draw, and then decode. So those are the 3 steps. And you want to ask the question because then you'll know what it's saying to you. So if we did not ask a question and we just did a drawing, it wouldn't mean much. It wouldn't say much to us, right? If there was no context, wealth, thinking, spirituality, and expression wouldn't mean much, right? It would just be a random group of colors. So you definitely want to ask a question. You can ask action-based questions. I'm so glad you asked. So yes, you can say, should I be doing blah, blah, blah right now? Absolutely. And you're going to see the answer. It's not going to be yes or no, obviously, but it will give you the clues as to what you need to know to make that decision. So great question. And the soul focus method class is all about getting what you should be doing right now. It's really about how to get out of overwhelm of like, should I do this or that or this or that? Because you have an endless to-do list. And it's about what you should be focusing on right now based on your higher self, who is the one actually directing the show down here. So if you really want action-based drawings, then I would sign up for the Soul Focus class or take a look at it. Ooh, I love this one. So topics, synchronicity. Wasn't going to take time to check Facebook. A group just posted this link as I came on, rescheduling the day to be here. So Jane, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you found this synchronistically and that you're here with us. So I'm so glad. Thank you. And yes, synchronicity is a huge part of the benefit of following your intuition. So something told her to get on Facebook. She saw the link and she's here. When you live in alignment with your highest self, synchronicity runs the show. So your clients just happen to find you. You just happen to see that $20 bill on the sidewalk. you happen to be at the right place at the right time to make that deal or to meet that new best friend. When you keep doing things that are based on your drawings, that are based on your intuition, synchronicity happens more and more and more. And that's because your higher self, like I said, is running the show here. And so when you're living in alignment with your higher self, when you're in communication, your life becomes a lot easier. A lot easier. So can't stress that enough. All right. So from Jane, another one. I'm aware of the angular start of my drawing and circling at the end. So I know that I began and ended with the same color. Should I put emphasis on that? That's awesome. So yes, you will often put down one color, pick up the same color. So it's okay if you put down the brown and then you pick up the brown again, even though this is purple. That's okay. And like Jane is saying, they were different kinds of marks. So one was really angular and one was circular. So that is something to take into consideration. So when you're looking at your drawing and you're feeling into it, how does that angular feeling feel? How does the circular feeling feel? So for example, my orange is all about thinking, but thinking is a broad term, right? It could mean strategizing. It could be daydreaming. And if I have an orange that's very angular, it reminds me of like academic work or thinking in a very analytical way or a very linear way, right? It's like, I need this many clients and I need to find $100 extra this month to do that. It's very angular. When I feel into thinking in terms of a circular feeling, it's like, it's more gentle. It is more synchronistic. It's like that will come to me, like the whatever I need to think, whatever I need to know will come to me if I'm gentle about it. So maybe I'll go for a walk and that idea will pop into my head. Or maybe I need to read a book. Or maybe I need to do something creative in order for that thought to come in. It's a much different feeling. So you do want to pay attention to how the colors are showing up for you. Absolutely. That's a great question. All right, so it looks like I've answered all of your questions and it's just about at the 90-minute mark. So I really want to thank you all for being here, for learning this. I would love to hear your comments, so feel free to post them anywhere you see fit. And do think of me. So if you want to learn more about this, I'll send you some information. And thanks for coming. So lots and lots of love from the Intuitive Art Academy. I'm so glad you could make it to this free class. And to learn more about the Soul Focus Method, just go to that link above and check it out. Lots and lots of love, guys. Bye-bye.